Freeze everything you are doing for just a moment, because the next 15 minutes of your time will change how you view that dark, creeping stain on your ceiling forever. You see the patch of fuzz and shadow climbing up the tile grout in this frame? I am not reaching for a respirator, nor am I phoning a $300 service call. I am walking into my pantry. In a quarter of an hour, using items you likely stirred into your dinner last week or dabbed on a blemish, I will erase this infestation entirely. No chlorine fumes, no industrial solvents, just a simple, ancient alchemy of the earth. And the proof unfolds before you in real time. Most homeowners operate under the heavy assumption that warfare against fungus demands a hazmat suit and a trip to the hardware store for weapons-grade chemicals. But they neglect to mention the quiet, potent alternative sitting idle on the spice rack. There exists a method so effective at dismantling the root structure of these invaders that it rivals the most aggressive laboratory concoctions, yet it costs mere pennies to deploy. The preparation window is shorter than brewing a pot of coffee. I intend to walk you through the precise mechanics of it. However, before we pull the trigger on the solution, we must first pay proper respect to the adversary. Why is this battle so critical? Mold is not a cosmetic inconvenience whispered about by neat freaks. It is a legitimate biological trespasser with a hunger for your well-being. Those ebony speckles peppering the plaster? They are launching pads for a silent, microscopic artillery barrage that floats unseen through your living space with every breath you draw. Let that imagery sink in for a second. Those airborne particles are not inert dust. They are active triggers, capable of igniting a cascade of physical rebellion within your body. We are talking about the kind of persistent, nagging cough that has you clearing your throat in the dead of night. The kind of sinus pressure that feels like a head cold that simply refuses to pack its bags and leave. For those with fragile respiratory architecture, the very young who are just building their defenses, or the elders who have earned their rest, the consequences escalate beyond mere annoyance into genuine medical distress. And it is not just your lungs that pay the price. This organism is a slow, deliberate consumer of structure. It secretes enzymes that degrade the very cellulose and drywall that hold your sanctuary together. It stains fabric, warps wood, and saturates the air with that distinct cloying aroma of decay that no scented candle ever truly conquers. How does it win such a foothold? Consider the physics of your bathroom after a hot shower. Steam rises, collides with the cooler barrier of your wall, and surrenders its energy in the form of condensation. That glistening film of moisture is the welcome mat. Combine that with a room where the window stays permanently sealed, and you have just rolled out the red carpet for a spore convention. Before we mix the cure, allow me to offer 3 non-negotiable habits that act as a perimeter fence for your lungs. First, abandon the indoor drying rack. I recognize the convenience, especially when frost is on the ground outside. But each damp towel draped over a radiator is essentially a water pump set to maximum output, aimed directly at your drywall. You are subsidizing the enemy's habitat. Seek the open air, even a covered porch, for laundry. Second, alter your relationship with gravity and furniture. That massive bookshelf or upholstered headboard should not be kissing the wall like a long-lost lover. You need a gap, a sliver of breath, just a finger's width of space to allow the current of air to pass. When heavy objects press tightly against cool exterior walls, they create a dark, stagnant, and damp microclimate where mold throws an exclusive, unwanted party in the shadows behind your belongings. Third, embrace the daily purge. 10 minutes of cross breeze. That is the entire prescription. Even if the mercury has plunged and you want to guard every calorie of heat, open 2 opposing windows for a fleeting 10-minute window. You are not trying to chill the house to sub-zero. You are simply flushing the stale, moisture-laden atmosphere and swapping it for something crisp. Now, we arrive at the promised intervention. The arsenal is laughably small. Just 3 items you can gather before the microwave timer beeps. You will need essential oil of Melaleuca alternifolia, known to most as tea tree. You will require clear, sharp acetic acid, otherwise known as white cooking vinegar. And finally, the catalyst. Hot water straight from the tap, Here is the step-by-step orchestration. Measure out 200 milliliters of that heated water into a vessel. Into that, dispense a full teaspoon of the tea tree oil. Pause and consider the why here. This is not an old wives' tale about nice smells. The oil of the tea tree leaf is loaded with terpenine compounds which possess a scorched earth policy toward fungal cell membranes. It does not merely wipe away the visible stain like a cosmetic cover-up, it sterilizes the underlying spores, rendering them inert and incapable of future reproduction. It disrupts the reproductive cycle at the microscopic level, all while leaving behind a clean, medicinal note instead of a chemical weapon's aftermath. Blend this mixture thoroughly until the oil disperses into a cloudy suspension. Next, introduce 100 milliliters of the white vinegar. The low pH environment created by acetic acid is catastrophic for mold proteins. It literally denatures the building blocks they use to cling to your wall. It dissolves the grip they have on the surface and ensures the area is sanitized down to the microscopic pore level. Decant this combined solution into a spray applicator. The moment of reckoning has come. Douse the affected area with a generous, even coat. Do not be shy. The fabric of your wall needs to drink this in. Then, and this is the pivot point most people miss entirely, you step back. You do not lunge forward with a rag. You allow the chemistry of nature to run its course for exactly 15 minutes. Let it rest. Let the volatile compounds seep into the crevices where the roots hide. When the clock strikes 0, return with a dry, absorbent textile and wipe away the residue. The transformation is often startling. The darkness lifts, the texture returns, and the room exhales. If the colony was particularly established, you may find a second pass useful. A word of caution. When you are agitating the surface, shield your airway. Even dead spores can be irritating if you inhale a cloud of them. Use a simple dust mask or a bandana tied over your nose and mouth. For the long game, for ensuring you never have to repeat this ritual, I will give you the silent guardian trick. Look toward the pantry once more. Toward sodium chloride or dried rice grain. Why spend hundreds on an electric dehumidifier that hums all night? A bowl of plain white table salt or a sack of uncooked rice acts as a passive moisture magnet. Place these vessels in the corners of the closet or behind the toilet. They will quietly suck the dampness from the still air. Rotate them out for a fresh batch every fortnight, and you will witness a tangible shift in the atmosphere. And there is the full picture. A solution devoid of fear, free of toxic exposure, and reliant solely on the elegant efficacy of two natural allies. If this demonstration has shed light on a path away from corrosive sprays and pricey invoices, pass that light along. This is a universal headache. Someone in your circle is staring at a spot on their wall right now, feeling defeated. Finally, if you found value here, give a nod to my channel by tapping the like button. It fuels the algorithm to bring more of these practical, life-easing discoveries to the surface. Thank you for spending this time with me.